friends, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to cope with pandemic anxiety. Shall we begin? I'm gonna do stuff to my face while I talk to you about the things that I find helpful for coping with anxiety in general, which I'm hoping will help you to cope with this very specific brand of anxiety that everybody's kind of experiencing right now. For those of you who don't often, struggle with mental health issues, this might be a huge adjustment for you. So let me, a professional anxiety haver, lead the way, help you get through this, because you know what? We're gonna get through this, because we have to. The first bit of advice that I have for you may seem kind of obvious. Try to limit the intake of content related to the virus. So if you are a person who likes to watch the news, maybe take a break. For a day or two, don't watch the news. If you are somebody like me who gets a little bit obsessive and can't put your phone down because you're stuck scrolling on Twitter because you need to know what people are thinking about this whole situation, force yourself to put your phone down. Delete the Twitter app off of your phone, even if it's for like a day or two, just to give yourself a bit of a break. Because when all you're consuming is content that's going to make you anxious, it's going to make you anxious. And that's not a way to help yourself. I don't even want to say thrive, because let's be honest, nobody is thriving right now, but it's not a great way to calm the storm between your ears. If you're just feeding more chaos into it, it's gonna rumble around in there until it wants to explode. Please try not to watch the news unless you have to. I have some suggestions for non-virus related content. My go-to for when I'm having a bad anxiety day and I just need to focus on something else for a while is the Jenna Julian podcast and just their videos in general, because they make all kinds of stuff with their dogs. They rescued a greyhound who was being used as a blood donor dog her whole life. So you can kind of watch them talk about the process of rehabilitating her and teaching her how to dog, which to me is very helpful and distracting. Next bit of advice for surviving COVID-19 mentally is to remember to breathe. And I know that sounds really cliche. Please don't click off. Your body and mind are actually super duper connected. Please don't feel bad if you don't remember to breathe on your own, because it took years of therapy for me to learn how to breathe. But if you want to calm yourself down, something you can do is take a big deep breath in through your nose, as deep as you can. You want to hold it for a second and then release it through your mouth. Don't make yourself run out of breath, because if you're running out of breath, then maybe you're working it too hard. Just as deep and as slow as you would like to breathe is exactly how I think you should do it. Another thing that goes hand in hand with remembering to breathe is getting fresh air. I know it's difficult to go out and get fresh air during a quarantine. However, if you live in a house that has a yard, go stand in your backyard. There's no way somebody, unless there's something sketchy going on in your neighborhood, I don't think you're gonna come within 6 feet of any other human being. You can stand outside. It is fine to stand outside of your home and get fresh air. Just don't touch anybody. Maybe don't touch anything either, because then you're gonna pull a me and touch your face 15 times. That's also another piece of advice. Don't touch your face, but people are already saying that, so wah-wah. If you go stand outside and breathe and get fresh air into your lungs instead of just the recycled living room air that you've been breathing for the last few days, something that it can do is lift your mood a little bit. If you have the ability to go for a walk, if you can go for a walk around the block, if you have dogs, now is a really good time to go be in nature with them. I personally wouldn't recommend going to a dog park and talking to anybody. Something else you can do during this time is actually get to know the people in your life. If you are somebody who knows me and wants to actually know me better, now's a great time to subscribe to my channel and learn about it, It's really interesting how we can be so all in this together, but really have no idea about what's going on in anybody else's life. Now is a really good time to kind of get to know the people in your life. So what I'm saying, I guess, is either talk to people or don't talk to people. The two options. The people around you are probably feeling the same fears that you are, or feel like they have to stay strong for other people around them. If you're one of those people who, you kind of feel afraid, but you're trying to be strong for everybody around you, like you have kids, you have family members who are more worried than you, so you kind of have to, put on a face for them. Do what you have to do. Put on the strong face for your loved ones, but feel the fear. Let yourself feel it. Don't squash it down, because you know what happens when you push down on a spring is it jumps back even harder. And sometimes, you know what, the spring wasn't even going to do anything till you pushed down on it. Sometimes fear is just the feeling that happens. And it only makes sense that if there's uncertainty about your future, it's human nature to kind of be concerned about that, We like to be in control. And when that control is taken away from us, like when government says, haha, you should probably stay home. It can be spooky to experience what we're experiencing right now. And you know what? That's allowed. What's that saying? Isn't there a saying that's like, feel the fear and do it anyway? That's kind of what I'm saying, is like, fear and strength are not mutually exclusive. Fear is not weakness. I kind of think that being able to acknowledge when you're afraid and sit with it, that in itself is strong as hell. Fear sucks. We don't like to feel afraid, so we try to push it down because it feels like a bad feeling, because it doesn't feel good to experience it. This situation is wacky, man. We don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know how long we're gonna be kind of stuck in, social distance? I don't know. It's not a vacation. There are many people, myself included, who are kind of freaking out a little bit about finances and getting my tax return. I might be okay when the quarantine is done and when the virus is out of here. It's a scary time, and it's hard to trust that you're gonna be taken care of and that your government is working for you and all this stuff. Like, I can't imagine being an American right now. I feel very blessed to live in Canada because, you know what, at least if I get the virus, I won't have to go bankrupt over it. My next pandemic self-care tip is to keep hope alive, because you know what, it is a lot of doom and gloom, but that is the media. That's just the only thing happening in the world that the media is talking about right now. Spend less time on the internet consuming that media, and I know it's really hard. Shit. Keeping hope alive can look different for everybody. For me, what hope looks like is still, I guess you need a little bit of backstory. I have always had a hard time seeing the future for myself, and I've always tried to control the future because I had so little control over my past. And you know what? Now is a great time to practice living in the moment and thinking the future will come, but we are not there yet. What being hopeful for the future looks like right now is trying to be grateful for the things that I have in this moment, and for the fact that I'm 29 and I can finally see the future. Like, okay, finally I'm a psychic. Oh my gosh, if I could see the future, I don't think I would want to. I guess what I'm trying to say is don't forget that there is a future. It may be really hard to see the other side of this, but we will come out on the other side of this. And I personally hold out hope that we'll come out on the other side of this stronger than when we went in. I'm really hoping that what will happen while everybody's inside is that the earth can kind of take a break, a breather, and that might buy us a little more time, if you know what I mean. I don't mean to go all climate crisis. It is my biggest fear. Climate change, and it's real and it's happening, and if you have to see something positive in this pandemic in order to survive it emotionally, the moment of silence and relief that we're giving to the earth is a really good thing to hold on to. If everybody's stuck inside, not as many people are out on the road, driving their vehicles, creating pollution. Anyway, so next tip to help you deal with your pandemic anxiety, have yourself an ethically sourced orgasm. What does that mean? Well, be responsible with it. At this point, that kind of means don't get a new partner. Duh. You know, a little DIY. Never hurt anybody. Allow yourself to feel good for a second. And that's all I have to say about that. Brush up on your sex education. Find out where the clitoris is before you get back out there. But yeah, anyway, I'll let the Hannah Wittens of the internet explain to you why releasing endorphins and all that fun stuff that happens when you, it can benefit your mental health. And I don't know if I'm comfortable talking about this any longer. So, my final piece of advice for you is to not force productivity. It's a pandemic. If you're able to work from home, that's so cool. That's so great. If you are unable to work right now, you are doing your best. I'm doing my best. We're all just out here, well, in our houses, doing our best. That's all you can really ask of anyone, you know? I don't want you to put too much pressure on yourself to get that book written or, I don't know, all your housework done. True, it's not a vacation. You're allowed to take care of yourself instead of everybody else. You don't need to maintain an image right now unless that's how you cope. But please, if you feel like you're unable to get work done, I feel you. This is a very stressful situation that everybody in the world is in right now. So please be gentle with yourself. That's my friend. Don't force my friend to work during a pandemic if they don't want to. Got it? Something else that I'm hoping this pandemic will provide for us is some extra compassion to go around. We're all doing our best. We're all just out here surviving. And you know what? I'm proud of you. You're doing it. Go you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to be kind to yourself and others today. And please, remember to breathe, do whatever you want to in your spare time, and I will see you very soon.